When we're kids, we're always told that you can be anything, dream big, reach for the stars. But as soon as you actually try and do that, all of a sudden everyone switches up. You should calm down, be realistic. Well, 13-year-old me said, fuck that, I'm gonna be a professional footballer. I was never the most athletic boy, I was like the classic skinny fat video gamer brown kid. What I did do was I played a lot of sports. Football, cricket, karate, swimming, rugby, hockey. And even though I usually wasn't very good at them, I tried hard. Because hard work is all that matters, right? When you're younger, especially if you're a boy from the UK, you'll probably relate to this. I always had like this idea, this weird certainty that I was going to be a professional footballer, even though I had no clue how I was going to get there. But just before the first COVID lockdown, about March 2020, came the big turning point. I was outside just kicking a ball about with my friend when these two guys came up and challenged us to a game 2v2, and we got absolutely cooked. And I remember standing there outside the house feeling like I had just lost the World Cup final, and I literally remember saying to myself, if I'm going to be a professional footballer, I have to be the best in the city or the country, the world, and I'm not even the best on the street. That's when I realised I was going to have to work for it. So whilst everyone else was in lockdown cranking 90s or on a house party, I was grinding ball mastery drills in my back garden. I'd like sneak out on my bike and hop fences to practice shooting for hours every single day. Gradually, as restrictions lifted, I found other friends who were into football too, friends I could grind with. And when I think back to it, that was one of the most fun periods of my life. Grinding home workouts, 6 AM runs before school. All of this chasing the seemingly impossible goal of getting that academy contract and eventually going pro. When football finally came back, there wasn't really much difference at first, but I just kept grinding, switching teams every season, trying to work my way up the ladder, until finally I started to see results. At 14, I was still sat on the bench at a pretty shit team. At 15, I moved to a slightly higher level and I won the Most Improved Player award at the end of the season. At 16, I won the Players Player of the Season award at that same team. I started playing local men's football too, so in total across the two teams, sometimes I'd be training 3 times and playing 2 games a week. All the while going to academy trials, finding opportunities through my coaches, fucking stalking academy director emails on the internet, just desperately trying to get into contact, just doing everything I could. And at this point, football really was the priority in my mind. Like, I remember the night before my GCSE English language exam, the night before that, I only actually got home at 11:30 PM because I had been trialing for this academy team. But slowly, over the last 18 months or so, I gradually started to come to the painful realization that I probably wasn't going to make it. You see kids my age playing in the Champions League and the World Cup, whilst I'm like struggling to get into local non-league amateur teams. The thing is, I genuinely believe if I'd kept grinding with that same intensity, I think I could have made it to a pretty decent semi-pro level or very low league professional level. But that's when I had to ask myself, is that really what I'm meant to do? I started this video by saying we're told we can be anything, and it's nice in theory. It may even be somewhat true, but I think when you start getting to a higher level of maturity, like you probably are if you're watching this type of video, we need to start asking ourselves a different set of questions. So let's assume we really can be anything. So now what? How do you choose among these infinite options? Most people would go straight to the thing that pays the most, or maybe the thing they enjoy the most, maybe their passion. But I really think there is a fundamental problem with this approach. It is selfish. We're all brought into this world with different attributes, strengths and weaknesses. Whether you believe that is because God gave us each a unique purpose or not, that's up to you. But it's an inescapable fact. There are some things that you're good at and some things that you're maybe not so great. And usually the things that you're good at and the things that you enjoy overlap quite a bit. But that's not always the case. For me, I genuinely loved football so much. When I think back to it now, when I try to imagine what I was thinking, I genuinely don't think it was because I was chasing any potential status or money. I just genuinely loved kicking the ball, trying to perfect the perfect long pass technique. You hit it with the bony part above the instep of your foot, you get the backspin, so you get the lift where you have to strike through the middle so it's not too lofted, it's driven. All of this. I love the grind, training for hours with my friends outside every day, pissing off my neighbours by passing the ball against the wall in my car park for hours, honing my craft every day. But unfortunately, I just wasn't that good. Naturally, I'm not fast, I'm pretty slow. I had this skinny fat build, I wasn't strong at all, I wasn't agile. And there are millions of people out there who are just as good as me on the ball, probably even better, who are also much more athletic, like naturally. But there are other things that I am naturally good at. I always did really well in school academically. I learn very fast, I'm a deep thinker, and as you can probably tell, I'm very humble. The problem is, if there's something that you're naturally really good at, but you drop that to go focus on something else, you are robbing the world of the potential positive impact that you could have made. Like, with your gift that you naturally have, you could have changed people's lives for the better, and you're throwing that away for what? Vibes? I'm certain that the levels I will achieve by focusing on my strengths will far exceed, far greater than any potential success I could have had if I kept chasing football. Even though we're all told, go chase your dreams. Instead of asking, what do I want more than anything? What do I enjoy the most? I think we have to start shifting our mindset, and instead, we need to ask, what impacts can I make? What is my highest point of contribution to the world, to other people's lives? Because ultimately, from all the books I've read, from all the philosophies and religious texts I've studied, and from personal experience, true happiness and even passion is created through serving other people. And as a bonus, if you're already naturally good at that thing, you'll probably end up making more money. And if you're not sure what you're good at yet, what that gift that you have is, I think you just need to throw yourself into as many different opportunities as possible. Play so many different sports, pick up loads of hobbies, grind subjects in school, try starting a business, try starting a social media page. And then after a few years of this, just complete immersion in so many different things, sit down and ask, okay, what stuck? What am I good at? And then ask, okay, with these gifts that I've figured out that I have, what's the biggest impact that I can make? For me, I'm gonna be honest, I still don't know what the answers to these questions are. I'm still just a young guy, I'm 17, trying to figure out the world. But I know for sure that it isn't football. So the big question, do I regret wasting 3 years of my life chasing this dream that ultimately flops? The answer is no, not at all. Grinding every day with my friends, training, working out, learning. It's some of the most fun and excitement I've ever had in my life. It opened the door, it got me to start working out, fixing my diet, taking my sleep seriously. It kept me away from alcohol, junk food, late nights. And I think most importantly, it opened up my mind to the idea that I could improve. A few days ago, I was speaking to one of my friends I used to grind football with. You've probably seen him pop up on the screen quite a few times. And I asked him, do you think it was a waste of time? And he said, no, because it showed us that we could grind something. And when you grind something, that you can get better at it. I've taken the lessons I've learned from football, the mental resilience from getting cut and rejected from teams, from winning and then losing, the roller coaster emotions, all the productive habits that I've learned, the discipline to get myself to go out and train every day. I've taken that and I've used those lessons and put them into all other areas of my life, in school, in the gym, in relationships, and they've worked wonders. Ultimately, I think the most important thing is that you just have something that you're working towards, some sort of goal or dream that you're chasing. The analogy that makes sense for me is that life is like a bicycle. You know, a bicycle is going pretty well when it's moving, right? It's all balanced, it can keep going. But as soon as you stop pedaling, as soon as it starts slowing down, that's when it loses balance and can fall over. You need to keep moving. But when you're figuring out where you're moving, instead of asking, what do I want to do? What do I like the most? Start asking, what is the biggest impact I can make on other people? Well, at least that's just some thoughts I would have, and take it with a massive grain of salt. That's the video. Peace out.